All right, so I did have a technical difficulty. It died right here. But these are the two terms that we got from here that we were actually able to divide in. This was the extra stuff. So we have to add on the extra stuff. It's like adding on a fraction. It's not exactly 1, but it's adding on what was left over. So just like before when we had remainders, in this case, we end up with a remainder. So don't overthink this, because this is the format. This is right here. This is what we call a set format. X minus 2 came from right there. The set format says I need the remainder divided by the x minus 2. If it was x plus 4, it'd be the remainder divided by x plus 4. Whatever you're dividing by right here is always going to go in the bottom because you're dividing by it. Since if that was a 30, it'd be the remainder over 30. But since it's an x minus 2, we have an x minus 2 there. So just make sure that you set up the remainder in the proper format. Because, yes, you're going to get remainders. Because, not as you've found out in your life, not everything works out nice and neat, right? So, occasionally, when you divide polynomials, you'll get remainders. Just make sure you put things in the proper format. Now, the last thing before I turn you loose on this is, let's say you have x squared, and let's go minus 28 divided by x plus 1. We'll try to keep it simple. So this is our final example. Now, what you want to do is you check the powers. What's the first power here? We got the power of 2. There's no power, and then there's a power of 0. What power is missing? All right, you're absolutely right. The power that missing is x to the first power. Now, what I want to do is I need to create inside of this term a column that is going to accommodate x to the first power, but not add anything to it at all. So what times x to the first power is going to give me nothing at all? 0. So when I write this guy, I'll put my x squared there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put plus 0x. Because what's 0 times x?
0.
That's 0. So am I adding anything to the original problem? No. But what it does is it creates the x column. It creates an x column because I guarantee you there's going to be an x in the answer. And then we put the minus 28 there. Then I put an x plus 1 there. And then I go. I go for it. And remember, we key off of x and x squared. What times x equals x squared? X. Well, if I didn't have an x column, there would be no place to put it. So now I do have an x column. There it is. What's x times x? X squared. What's x times 1? X. X squared minus x squared is 0. That's what we wanted, right? All right, now we have 0 minus an x. It's a negative x. If you have no money and then you borrow $1, you owe somebody $1. And now what do we do with that? Bring down the negative 28. Now my question is, what do I have to multiply x by? Because this is my new item that I key off of. I'm keying off the negative x. X times what equals negative x? Negative 1. Because negative 1 times x is negative x. What's negative 1 times 1? Negative 1. Alright, and now, because there's so many negatives, make sure you put the parentheses around it and subtract, so you don't get your negatives all confused and crazy. Remember, I'm not telling you this to do extra work. I'm telling you this to save you from losing points on tests because your negative signs go to the way of the dodo. They just become extinct and disappear off your problem. They might teleport to someone else's paper, but who knows? Quantum physics. Don't worry about it. Negative x minus a negative x. When you subtract a negative, what are you doing? Positive. If you want to shorthand a positive right there, you get negative plus a positive. What do you get here? 0. Is that what we wanted? Yep. Now I have negative 28 minus a negative 1. I subtract a negative 1. That means I'm really adding 1. So negative 28 plus 1 is negative 27. Now, are there any numbers to play with? No. This dude's your remainder. Whoops. I wish I could spell. Yep, 2 negatives is positive. So now I have a negative 27, so I'm just going to put minus 27 over, what did I divide by? X plus 1. And we're done. So there are a couple problems that are kind of set up like this when there's no x in the middle, or if it goes 4, 3, 1, 0, you're missing the second power, put the 0x squared in there. If you don't, you're going to lose out on that column. So